Does my knowledge of the artist, my personal familiarity with the artist's beliefs and character, does it influence my experience of observing their art? And I don't know in some ways how to answer that question, because I can't separate myself from myself and see the art cold. It's impossible for me to forget that Abbas Elias has stood for equality of the genders and has come from a background, a country, in which the oppression of women has been such a preeminent theme in the history of that country, certainly the modern history of Egypt. So it's very, very hard for me to say. I like to think that, yes, I would detect those themes even were I not to know Abbas. I hope that would be the case. And if I really am honest, I think it would be the case. Not because I'm a super genius, but because looking at Abbas's art, I feel such hope and inspiration. And yet the characters of the women themselves, like the caricature, the way that they're portrayed is not childish in any way, although the colors are so positive and hopeful. And I think that contrast immediately draws to mind women who are using their strength to stand strong, using their strength to, even in his single portraits, the women are often turning away from trouble, turning away from those forces that seek to crush them, crush their spirits. That impression is something that I feel immediately. I don't think to myself, oh yeah, I remember Abbas said to me one time, or I remember Abbas one time when I was a kid, he talked about his wife, da-da-da. You know, art in the end, I don't think it's really, honestly, I'm sorry to all the critics, I don't feel it's really an intellectual exercise. I think you encounter art, even a picture that you know everything about, I think you encounter it fresh each time you look at it. And you feel something every time you look at it. And that something is often an emotional experience that really, I don't know, I don't think it actually has that much to do with the intellectual nitpicking that you do later on when you try to understand that emotional experience. So I hope that it's not my knowledge and respect for Abbas that leads me to feel that it leads me to understand his art. What I hope is understanding, at least partially, a little bit.